Hello, and thank you for choosing Geoforce. Today we're going to go over the Geotab Drive application. We're going to show you how to log in, select your vehicle, perform a DVIR, and some of the basics in using Geotab Drive for logging your hours of service. The first thing that you need to do is download Geotab Drive. You'll be able to find that on an app store for your phone or your tablet. Once you have downloaded the application, you're going to need to get a username and password from your administrator and then use that here to log in. So you'll type your username up here at the top and click Next, and you'll type your password and then click Login. And this is how you're going to start your day. You're going to log into the application. Now the first thing that you're going to see here is a space to select the vehicle that you're going to be driving for the day. Now, what should happen here is using Bluetooth technology, we're going to search around the area and look for any available vehicles for you to select. So they should show up here in a drop-down menu. All right, if they don't, you can start typing up here at the top to select a vehicle. So I'll be driving the spare Ford today. Next, it's going to ask two things here. Are there any trailers that are attached? Do I have any shipment numbers that I need to attach? For trailers here, we can go ahead and hit this little plus icon to search and select a trailer. For shipments, same thing. We can click this little plus icon to add a shipper name and commodity number, a shipper document number. This information will come up on a compliance report in the event that you're pulled over, so it is important to put that in there if you need to. If you have no trailers or shipments, you can simply click Save and Continue. In the event that you have an unverified log from a previous day, okay, so this would be any time that you were driving around or the vehicle was being driven around, it's going to ask you if you want to verify your logs that are currently unverified. All right, so if these were you, you can claim them here by clicking Verify and agreeing, or you can click to Verify All Days. If you have no logs to verify, it won't ask you that when you're first logging in. You can simply verify your logs at the end of your shift. Here it's going to ask you to do a DVIR. So the first thing we're going to do here is click to certify and inspect. So we're certifying our previous DVIR certification here, making sure that this all looks good. You can scroll down through here. You have the option to add a remark if you need to. Otherwise, just go ahead and click Certify Previous Inspection. You'll notice up here at the top, you've been placed on duty. So now you have time to go through and perform your DVIR. You're going to want to mark here. You can click on a down arrow to show underneath the categories: brakes, parking, service, any defects here that you need to mark for your vehicle. So carefully select here if there's any defects. This, of course, will go through to your administrators as a defect report. The inspection location should automatically populate. You have an option down here at the bottom to add a remark. Okay, I highly recommend adding a remark if you're going to add a defect. And what does that mean? For example, if you have an issue with your tire, you can come in here and clarify that issue further. All of this information will show up on a DVIR report. Under Save New Inspection here, you're going to want to select the inspection type. Is this a pre-trip or a post-trip, or was this done within the trip span? So we'll go ahead and select pre-trip here, because that's what you'll be doing at the beginning of your shift, and we'll click No Defects. This is the equivalent of signature down at the bottom saying, yes, this vehicle is safe. Now our inspection is complete. It's taking us here to the dashboard menu. Couple things that I want to make sure to point out to you here on this screen. We're going to get here to the HOS portion in a moment. That's where we're going to spend most of our time. On the dashboard screen, you'll also find DVIR here. This is in case you need to perform a DVIR in the middle of your shift. You can click back here into the dashboard, which you'll see down here on the bottom left, to perform your DVIR mid-trip. If you get any messages from an administrator, so that would come directly from an administrator through the Geotab application to you here. You'll get an alert up at the top here, and you'll be able to see those messages right here. This ELD info button contains within it all of the documentation that is required for you to be compliant, all right, according to the FMCSA rules. So we have the data transfer guide here, ELD manual, data diagnostics and malfunctions guide. All right, you can see all those documents here. You can also see driver's guide to DVIR and HOS here within this document as well. All right, so this is a good place to look if you have any questions about DVIR or logging your hours of service. Within this application itself, there's some help. Here's the spare Ford that we're driving right now. In the event that you need to change vehicles in the middle of your shift, you can click here for spare. Click where I said spare Ford here. All right, and you can change out that vehicle. You can also, in the middle of your shift here, add a trailer, get rid of a trailer, add a shipment, or get rid of a shipment. In the event that you're pulled over, here on your dashboard screen is the inspection button. All right, you can put in here 4-digit code, all right, and set the PIN before handing your tablet or phone over to an officer so that they can either email or transfer via web services or compliance print your hours of service. Okay? When they hit exit up here, it's going to ask for that PIN that you just created. So in other words, they're not going to be able to hop back into what you see. They're only going to be able to transfer the logs, the raw hours of service logs, to themselves. Most of the time you're going to spend is here on this HOS menu. All right, so we're showing ourselves on duty right now. Simply put, when you log in the morning, you log in, select your vehicle, perform your DVIR, and then you can hang out on this screen. You'll be on duty until you start driving around. The system will automatically switch you from on duty to drive, and then back to on duty again as you go through your day. When you are taking a break, you need to otherwise go off duty mid-shift. You can click here to mark yourself off duty. Okay, you'll have the option down here to add an annotation. When you come back on duty, you'll click here for on duty. You'll see over here on the left-hand side, your driving left, duty left, cycle left. Okay, this is going to count down for you in real time. You also have this button here to view exemptions. So in the event that you fall under any sort of exemption, a yard move, adverse driving conditions, personal conveyance, there's several more here, depending on the kind of rule set that you fall under, you'll need to apply those manually from here. All right, and when you are no longer under those exemptions, you will also have to manually stop them. If you want to have a look at your logs, you can click over here into Logs. This is what my day looks like so far. I was off duty, on duty, drive, back to off duty, And now I'm back here and on. You can see how it's broken down here. Further, I can scroll through here and see my logs for the day. I can also go back in time here to look at my logs for the previous few days. In the event that you forget to log yourself out, for example, let's say you forgot to log yourself off duty for a break, you can click here to add a log. All right, it's simple as here under status, you select the log status. So we're going to add an off-duty log, a date, and a time, the vehicle that you were in, and you can add an annotation here. So for example, we can add an annotation that would say, forgot to log myself off duty for lunch. And then click add down here at the bottom. It's very important that you keep your logs as up to date and as accurate as possible. In the event that you're pulled over, you certainly don't want an error to show up as a violation. And anytime you are in violation, it will show up here at the top, big red letters for you. This will also be red. All right, it's very easy to see here in the application when you are in violation. And you want to make sure to address that right away. Once you're done with your driving shift, it's very important that you log out of the application. Up here at the top, you'll click the Head and Shoulders icon, and you will click to log out. The first thing it's going to do is take you to perform a post-trip DVIR. It's not showing us that today because we're in a demo mode here. But you'll go through the steps to certify your previous inspection and then perform a post-trip DVIR. The next thing it's going to do here is to ask you to to verify your logs for today. You can see here, yes, that was us, on duty, off duty, on duty, etc. We want to make sure that these are all true logs so we can claim them. And down here at the bottom, we will say, yes, I want to verify all days. And we're going to go ahead and here say that we agree. Yes, this is the equivalent of the signature down at the bottom of your DVIR. And the last step that it's going to take us to here, since we are still in on-duty status, and we do want to stay on duty for the rest of this, right? As we're doing our post-trip DVIR, as we're verifying our logs, we're still on duty. But now, as a very last step here, it's going to ask us to mark ourselves off duty to verify and log out. So we'll go ahead and click that button. And we're back here to the main screen. Now we are going to go over a few best practices when using Geotab Drive. One of the most common mistakes drivers can make is not logging completely out of the application at the end of their shift. If you do not log completely out of the application, you will remain attached to that vehicle and could end up with someone else's drive time associated with you. You may also end up staying on duty from one shift to the next, leaving yourself with no on-duty time and being in violation. Currently, the FMCSA does not allow edits to any automatic drive logs. To avoid any issues, simply log out of the Geotab Drive application at the end of your shift. Verifying your logs is extremely important. When you are logging in and or out of the application, you will get an opportunity to verify your logs. Please double check that the logs you are verifying are in fact yours. If they are not, please inform an administrator or supervisor ASAP so that they can assign that drive time log to the right driver. If you verify logs that are not yours, it is difficult to get that drive time unassigned from you and could put you in violation. You can log into the application to check or verify your logs at any time by simply logging in and selecting No Vehicle. In this same way, you can also log yourself simply on duty if you need to. In the event that you are pulled over for a roadside inspection, please click Inspection. This will take you to the correct screen to give to a DOT officer. They can either enter their email address for your logs or hit Compliance Print, which will show them your logs. Do not go to the logs screen, as this will highlight your violations in red. The officer will only be able to look at today's logs and the previous days allowable according to your rule set. The system will automatically switch you into driving mode when you start to drive. You do not need to manually select it. If you do, this could cause a double log to be created. All of your driving logs can and will be accessed by your administrative staff to look at violations. In the event of an audit, any driving violations can accrue a fine that would be applicable to you and your company. Your administrators can monitor a fines by violation report and may contact you for additional coaching to avoid violations and fines in the future. It is imperative that you keep accurate logs to make sure you do not fall into any kind of violation. Remember, to find all the information you need about Geotab Drive, including the compliance documents and a tutorial of the app, click on the ELD Info button on the dashboard screen. You should download these documents onto your phone or tablet in the event of a roadside inspection for quick and offline access. If you're curious about the new features in Geotab Drive, you can always click on the New Release Updates button. You can also check the Geotab YouTube channel for the most up-to-date videos on features. You can always talk to your administrator if you have any questions about your driving logs or the Geotab Drive application. Thank you for joining us today for this tutorial, and thank you for choosing Geoforce. Drive safely.